Chitwan National Park, Nepali, formerly Royal Chitwan National Park, is the first national park in Nepal. It was established in 1973 and granted the status of a World Heritage Site in 1984. It covers an area of 932 square kilometers, 360 square miles, and is located in the subtropical Inner Terai lowlands of south-central Nepal in the districts of Nawalparasi, Parsa, Chitwan and Makwanpur. In altitude it ranges from about 100 meters, 330 feet, in the river valleys to 815 meters, 2,674 feet, in the Churia Hills. In the north and west of the protected area, the Narayani-Rapti river system forms a natural boundary to human settlements. Adjacent to the east of Chitwan National Park is Parsa Wildlife Reserve. Contiguous in the south is the Indian Tiger Reserve Valmiki National Park. The coherent protected area of 2,075 square kilometers, 801 square miles, represents the Tiger Conservation Unit, TCU, Chitwan-Parsa-Valmiki, which covers a 3,549 square kilometers, 1,370 square miles, huge block of alluvial grasslands and subtropical moist deciduous forests. History. Since the end of the 19th century, Chitwan, heart of the jungle, used to be a favorite hunting ground for Nepal's ruling class during the cool winter seasons. Until the 1950s, the journey from Kathmandu to Nepal's south was arduous as the area could only be reached by foot, and took several weeks. Comfortable camps were set up for the feudal big-game hunters and their entourage, where they stayed for a couple of months shooting hundreds of tigers, rhinoceroses, leopards and sloth bears. In 1950, Chitwan's forest and grasslands extended over more than 2,600 square kilometers, 1,000 square miles, and was home to about 800 rhinos. When poor farmers from the mid-hills moved to the Chitwan Valley in search of arable land, the area was subsequently opened for settlement, and poaching of wildlife became rampant. In 1957, the country's first conservation law inured to the protection of rhinos and their habitat. In 1959, Edward Pritchard G. undertook a survey of the area, recommended creation of a protected area north of the Rapti River and of a wildlife sanctuary south of the river for a trial period of 10 years. After his subsequent survey of Chitwan in 1963, this time for both the Fauna Preservation Society and the International Union for Conservation of Nature, he recommended extension of the sanctuary to the south. By the end of the 1960s, 70% of Chitwan's jungles were cleared using DDT. Thousands of people had settled there, and only 95 rhinos remained. The dramatic decline of the rhino population and the extent of poaching prompted the government to institute the Gada-Gasti, a rhino reconnaissance patrol of 130 armed men and a network of guard posts all over Chitwan. To prevent the extinction of rhinos, the Chitwan National Park was gazetted in December 1970, with borders delineated the following year and established in 1973. Initially encompassing an area of 544 square kilometers, 210 square miles. In 1977, the park was enlarged to its present area of 932 square kilometers, 360 square miles. In 1997, a buffer zone of 766.1 square kilometer, 295.8 square miles, was added to the north and west of the Narayani-Rapti river system, and between the southeastern boundary of the park and the international border to India. The park's headquarters is in Kasara. Close by the gharial and turtle conservation breeding centers have been established. In 2008, A vulture breeding center was inaugurated aiming at holding up to 25 pairs of each of the two GYPs. Vultures species now critically endangered in Nepal, the oriental white-backed vulture and the slender-billed vulture. Climate. Chitwan has a tropical monsoon climate with high humidity all through the year. The area is located in the central climatic zone of the Himalayas, where monsoon starts in mid-June and eases off in late September. During these 14 to 15 weeks most of the 2,500 mm yearly precipitation falls. It is pouring with rain. After mid-October the monsoon clouds have retreated. Humidity drops off, and the top daily temperature gradually subsides from plus or minus 36 degrees Celsius (96.8 degrees Fahrenheit) to plus or minus 18 degrees Celsius (64.5 degrees Fahrenheit). Nights cool down to 5 degrees Celsius (41.0 degrees Fahrenheit) until late December, when it usually rains softly for a few days. Then temperatures start rising gradually. Vegetation. The typical vegetation of the Inner Terai is Himalayan subtropical broadleaf forests with predominantly sal trees covering about 70% of the national park area. The purest stands of sal occur on well-drained lowland ground in the center. Along the southern face of the Churia Hills sal is interspersed with chir pine, Pinus roxburgh. On northern slopes sal associates with smaller flowering tree and shrub species such as belleric, Terminalia bellerica, rosewood, Dalbergia, siso, axlewood, Anagysis latifolia, elephant apple, Delenia indica, grey downy balsam, Garuga pinnata, and creepers such as Bauhinia vallei and Spathilobus parviflorus. Seasonal bushfires. Flooding and erosion evoke an ever-changing mosaic of riverine forest and grasslands along the river banks. On recently deposited alluvium and in lowland areas groups of kataku, Acacia kataku, with rosewood, Dalbergia, siso, predominate, followed by groups of kapok, Bombax ceiba, with rhino apple trees, Truia nudiflora, the fruits of which rhinos savor so much. Understory shrubs of velvety beauty berry, Calicarpa macrophylla, hill glory bower, Clerodendrum sp, and gooseberry, Philanthus emblica, offer shelter and lair to a wide variety of species. Terai savanna and grasslands cover about 20% of the park's area. More than 50 species are found here, including some of the world's tallest grasses like the elephant grass called Saccharum riveni, giant cane, Arundodonax, Kagra reed, Phragmites carca, and several species of true grasses. Cannes grass, Saccharum spontaneum, is one of the first grasses to colonize new sandbanks and to be washed away by the yearly monsoon. Floods. Fauna. The wide range of vegetation types in the Chitwan National Park is haunt of more than 700 species of wildlife and a not yet fully surveyed number of butterfly, moth and insect species. Apart from king cobra and rock python, 17 other species of snakes, starred tortoise and monitor lizards occur. The Narayani-Rapti river system, their small tributaries and myriads of oxbow lakes is habitat for 113 recorded species of fish and mugger crocodiles. In the early 1950s, about 235 gharials occurred in the Narayani River. The population has dramatically declined to only 38 wild gharials in 2003. Every year gharial eggs are collected along the rivers to be hatched in the breeding center of the Gharial Conservation Project, where animals are reared to an age of 6 to 9 years. Every year young gharials are reintroduced into the Narayani-Rapti river system, of which sadly only very few survive. Mammals. The Chitwan National Park is home to at least 68 species of mammals. The king of the jungle is the Bengal tiger. The alluvial floodplain habitat of the Terai is one of the best tiger habitats anywhere in the world. Since the establishment of Chitwan National Park, the initially small population of about 25 individuals increased to 70 to 110 in 1980. In some years this population has declined due to poaching and floods. In a long-term study carried out from 1995 to 2002, tiger researchers identified a relative abundance of 82 breeding tigers and a density of 6 females per 100 square kilometers. Information obtained from camera traps in 2010 and 2011 indicated that tiger density ranged between 4.44 and 6.35 individuals per 100 square kilometers. They offset their temporal activity patterns to be much less active during the day when human activity peaked. Leopards are most prevalent on the peripheries of the park. They coexist with tigers, but being socially subordinate are not common in prime tiger habitat. In 1988, a clouded leopard was captured and radio-collared outside the protected area, and released into the park but did not stay. Chitwan is considered to have the highest population density of sloth bears with an estimated 200 to 250 individuals. Smooth-coated otters inhabit the numerous creeks and rivulets. Bengal foxes, spotted linsangs and honey badgers roam the jungle for prey. Striped hyenas prevail on the southern slopes of the Churia Hills. During a camera trapping survey in 2011, wild dogs were recorded in the southern and western parts of the park, as well as golden jackals, fishing cats, jungle cats, leopard cats, large and small Indian civets, Asian palm civets, crab-eating mongooses and yellow-throated martens. Rhinoceros. Since 1973, the population has recovered well and increased to 544 animals around the turn of the century. To ensure the survival of the endangered species in case of epidemics, animals are translocated annually from Chitwan to the Bardia National Park and the Parsa Wildlife Reserve since 1986. However, the population has repeatedly been jeopardized by poaching. In 2002 alone, poachers killed 37 individuals in order to saw off and sell their valuable horns. Chitwan has the largest population of Indian rhinoceros in Nepal, estimated at 605 individuals out of 645 in total in the country. From time to time, wild elephant bulls find their way from Valmiki National Park into the valleys of the park, apparently in search of elephant cows willing to mate. Boars spend most of the year in the less accessible Churia Hills in the south of the national park. But when the bushfires ease off in springtime and lush grasses start growing up again, they descend into the grassland and riverine forests to graze and browse. The Chitwan population of the world's largest wild cattle species has increased from 188 to 368 animals in the years 1997 to 2016. Furthermore, 112 animals were counted in the adjacent Parsa Wildlife Reserve. The animals move freely between these parks. Apart from numerous wild boars, also sambar deer, red muntjac, hog deer and herds of chital inhabit the park. Four-horned antelopes reside predominantly in the hills. Rhesus monkeys, Hanuman langurs, Indian pangolins, Indian porcupines, several species of flying squirrels, black-naped hares and endangered hispid hares are also present. Birds. Every year dedicated bird watchers and conservationists survey bird species occurring all over the country. In 2006 they recorded 543 species in the Chitwan National Park, much more than in any other protected area in Nepal and about two-thirds of Nepal's globally threatened species. Additionally, 20 black-chinned uhina, a pair of Gould's sunbird, a pair of blossom-headed parakeet and one slaty-breasted rail an uncommon winter visitor, were sighted in spring 2008. Especially the park's alluvial grasslands are important habitats for the critically endangered Bengal florican, the vulnerable lesser adjutant, grey-crowned prinia, swamp francolin and several species of grass warblers. In 2005, more than 200 slender-billed babblers were sighted in 3 different grassland types. The near-threatened oriental darter is a resident breeder around the many lakes, where also egrets, bitterns, storks and kingfishers abound. The park is one of the few known breeding sites of the globally threatened spotted eagle. Peafowl and jungle fowl scratch the living on the forest floor. Apart from the resident birds, about 160 migrating and vagrant species arrive in Chitwan in autumn from northern latitudes to spend the winter here. Among them the greater spotted eagle, eastern imperial eagle and Pallas's fish eagle. Common sightings include Brahmani ducks and goosandas. Large flocks of bar-headed geese just rest for a few days in February on their way north. As soon as the winter visitors have left in spring, the summer visitors arrive from southern latitudes. The calls of cuckoos herald the start of spring. The colorful Bengal pitters and several sunbird species are common breeding visitors during monsoon. Among the many flycatcher species, the paradise flycatcher, with his long undulating tail in flight, is a spectacular sight. Tourism. Chitwan National Park is one of Nepal's most popular tourist destinations. In 1989, more than 31,000 people visited the park, and 10 years later already more than 77,000. There are 2 main entrances to visit the Chitwan National Park: the tourist town of Sauraha in the east and the tranquil Tharu settlement of Megaruli village in the west. Sauraha is a well-known spot for package tourists and offers a choice of hundreds of hotels, lodges, restaurants and agencies. Megaruli has recently opened up as a tourist destination with the creation of the Tharu Homestay program to promote the village tourism in the area, offering a more authentic and intimate jungle experience. It now has also a couple of budget guest houses and 7 jungle lodges to cater to all budgets. Both destinations can be reached from Narayani in less than 2 hours. Literature. Bird Conservation Nepal. 2006. Birds of Chitwan. Checklist of 543 reported species. Published in cooperation with Department of National Parks and Wildlife Conservation and Participatory Conservation Program 2. Kathmandu. Gurung. K. Singh R. 1996. Field Guide to the Mammals of the Indian Subcontinent. Academic Press. San Diego. ISBN 0-12-309350-3. Media coverage. The park's unique rhino herd was featured on the Jeff Corwin Experience in Season 2. Episode 11. Chitwan National Park Travel Guide from Wikivoyage. Information of Department of National Parks and Wildlife Conservation. Nepal. Chitwan National Park. BirdLife IBA Fact Sheet. Chitwan National Park. Vulture Breeding Center in Chitwan National Park.